Welcome back, SethBling here. My inventory, I've got this six-sided die. It's just a snowball, but if I throw it, it'll actually roll a die. And you can see it kind of does a little randomization thing. 4 came up. If I want to pick up the die, I just come down here and it'll go right in my inventory and I can throw it again. And it'll randomize a number. And there's 2 and 5, etc. So every time you throw it, it'll pick a random number, and then all you have to do to pick it back up is just come right up next to it. So it uses some templates over here and some redstone. Here's a 6. Pick it back up. Be careful not to throw this at anything you feel too protective about, because it'll actually destroy terrain around it. Here's how it works. I've got a little fill clock here. This is filling this area with redstone and then stone rapidly, so all these command blocks are getting activated 20 times a second. So the first thing that happens is it teleports the wither skull to a snowball if there is a snowball. And so there's an invisible wither skull I've summoned. It's this is the command I use: summon wither skull tilde tilde tilde, and then I use direction and just use 0 for all 3 coordinates. It's like this. Anyway, so I summoned a wither skull, and that's somewhere around here. So this is constantly teleporting that wither skull to the snowball, basically to keep track of where the snowball is. Then we test for the snowball, and we get comparator output. And as long as there is a snowball, when there is first a snowball, it clears the snowball from the player's inventory, because since I'm in creative mode, throwing the snowball doesn't clear it. So that's the first thing it does, is it clears the snowball from my inventory. But there's also this torch coming off the command block. So when the snowball goes away because it hits something, the torch is going to turn back on, and we can see that. Torch turns off. When it lands, torch turns back on. And that triggers a bunch of stuff. I guess I'll go pick it up again. What do we get? 1. Snake eye. So yeah, when the snowball disappears, this torch turns back on. And that does a couple things. First of all, it clones this region. And what it's doing is it's cloning this region over here to right here. And it basically overwrites all this stuff. You notice there's some command blocks here, there's no command blocks here. So it clones the air also, so it removes these command blocks. And then it also sets a redstone block right here. And then 3 redstone ticks later, it clears away that redstone block. That's what this one's, set block air. So, okay, just to reiterate, this stuff gets cloned over here, and then we trigger it with a redstone block, just for a few redstone ticks. Now, each of these dispensers, and this is what it'll look like after the clone. Each of these dispensers has 6 command blocks in it, and each one of these command blocks, basically, I can pull it out. I'll show you what this one is. This one executes at the wither skull a command. The command is clone, and it clones a specific set of coordinates relative to the wither skull. So basically, it's cloning one particular instance of these dice over the wither skull. So there's 6 command blocks in here because there's 6 different orientations of the dice. And so when this gets copied over here and triggered, this spits out a different command block. You'll notice this is 90, 64, 270 are the first 3 coordinates, 90, 64, 230, 90, 64, 230 again, 90, 64, 240. So basically it just clones all of the clones a different die relative to the wither skull. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and then it leaves it alone. And this is the final result of the die that we're going to get. So then there's also a scoreboard objective. So if I scoreboard objective set display sidebar deployed. I'm also in a team. Scoreboard teams leave. There we go. So it shows deployed. Now deployed is basically a scoreboard value that indicates whether or not the snowball is deployed. So, whether or not the die is deployed. So when I throw it, when the die appears and is in its resting position, it gets set to, deployed gets set to 1. And then when I go pick up the snowball, deployed gets set back to 0. So deployed is basically just a tracker that keeps track of whether the die is out. Now, the last command block in this sequence over here sets the deployed value to 1. It means basically the die is deployed, so if the player comes near it, go ahead and delete the die and pick it back up into the player's inventory. So there's this final command block and a clock over here. This is one of those things that's going off 20 times a second. Basically, it's executes a command at the Wither Skull, and it's testing for a player within radius 7 and who has a deployed score of at least 1. So basically, if the die is deployed, and now the Wither Skull is inside of here, it's constantly checking within a radius 7 of this die, is there a player with a deployed score of 1? And if there is, then this comparator is going to come on, and it's going to do a couple things. It's going to fill up the area with air, so it'll delete the die. It will give the player a snowball named Six-Sided Die, and it also sets the player's deployed value to 0 so that they're ready to go for another roll of dice. So that's how it works. Hopefully not too complicated. Hopefully I was able to explain it so you could understand it. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Just another thing you can do with the new features of command blocks and scoreboards and everything in the snapshots 1.8. Pretty cool. That's about it. Thanks for watching.